Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Livewire TV. This is the place where we talk all about inspiring conversations to empower and ignite your business growth and take you to that next level. Each week, I bring on an incredible expert in a really niche field that's going to help you to grow and get tangible results as well. Now, Livewire TV is a part of Livewire Media, where we do corporate videography and video marketing. This week, I've got a really unique, incredible guest for you, Kayleigh. Kayleigh, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So, Kayleigh runs a really awesome ethical business called Kakadu Creative, and they basically help businesses grow from a digital marketing point of view in an eco-friendly way. And I've got to admit, when I first heard that, I thought, how is that possible? How can the internet be like not carbon neutral? How can the internet be like, not eco-friendly because it's the internet? Like you wouldn't necessarily think of it as something like that. So Kayleigh, tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into this really specific niche.
Okay, yeah, so to give you a quick 60-second type thing. So I came from sort of magazine publishing, and my other half, Lee, who is normally sat behind me there, is obviously not here right now. He was in the design department, so I was in sales and marketing, he was in design, and we basically just got to the point where we just didn't want to be part of that corporate kind of rat race, and it was just about making money, and we decided, right, okay, this is not fulfilling us. Excuse me, sorry. And so we set about to kind of go and create our own design agency, creative agency. And initially it was to sort of give a level of service to clients where the client was first, we put them first. But actually as it developed, we, the last couple of years, we kind of looked at the business and said, where do we actually want to go in regards to our message, our voice? We were very generalist. We were running the business behind the scenes, ethically, sustainably, cruelty-free, but we weren't talking about it openly out to the public, and to our customers. And so about a year and a half ago now, we started to bring all of that to the front and really start championing sustainable business and talking about it and shouting about it and using our voice as a business to bring that message out there. And and that's kind of where we're at. It's been a journey, but it's incredibly exciting to now have our ethics and morals at the front of our business. So it's a bit more than 60 seconds, but
it's all good. So not a lot of businesses work within, say, the ethical industry, if you like.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here and say that there's some people out there that don't believe in climate change. They think it's inevitable, so they just think whatever.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
Oh, it's a really hard one. So I actually, in my personal life, I do a bit with environmental activism. Yeah. So I've been out on the streets having conversations with people, and there are people that just don't get it, or just think, like you said, it's a natural thing and all the rest of it. And I always try and say to these people, look, please don't read the tabloids. Don't listen to, the red tops and all the rest of it. Go and do your research yourself, but don't fall into the holes of, like the forum boards. Actually go and find verified, peer-reviewed research. There's so much of it out there. But I think in reality, the climate change deniers are starting to become even more of a minority than they were, especially over the last 2 years. I think the pandemic has really opened a lot of people's eyes to the state the planet is in, and and the fact that we've done this. Yes, there are cycles of climate change. You look back at, we've had different ice ages, we've had different extinctions, mass extinctions, but they've not been caused by the living species that's living on the planet. There's been external things that have happened, but this particular situation we've done, which means that we can undo it, but we've got to act quick, which is another reason why we said, right, we need to start bringing our ethics and our voice out, because we haven't, we've got to be changing. It's just not just in personal life, but in our business as well. So
now we get a lot of businesses watching this, and if you are watching this and if you have any questions for Kayleigh, drop them in the comment section below, even if you're watching the replay. A lot of businesses may be watching this and thinking, well, how can I use that to grow my business. How can I still grow my business but in an ethical way? And also, is it marketable as well?
Okay, yeah. So my answer to that is 100% marketable. I think realistically, over the next few years, it's going to become even more important to have those ethical messages and be running your business sustainably and ethically, and and tread as lightly on the planet as possible. I saw some statistics. It was beginning of last year, and it was around consumer purchasing decisions, and the fact that the more and more people were looking at the impact that those products and those services were having, not just price or not just expertise. The actual ethics behind these businesses and the products was really starting to rise in the decision making. It's influence.
I've got to admit, when I'm shopping around, I do sometimes look at that as well, and I think it's people just becoming more conscious of it, aren't they?
Definitely.
Do you feel like a lot of brands are just jumping on it because it's a trend and it's just what people are interested in, but it's not necessarily in line with their own values?
There is a big problem with that. There's a lot of greenwashing happening, but actually it's really interesting. So last month, January, the Green Claims Code came out, and it's a piece of government legislation that is designed to stop greenwashing. So I won't go into much detail in this talk now, but because obviously we want to talk about the internet. But if anyone hasn't heard of the Green Claims Code, go and have a look. Go and look into it. We've actually got an article on our site that talks about the Green Claims Code, what it is and what it means to your business. And basically, it's a situation where if you can't verify your claims, if your customer can't research and find the stats and statistics behind your green claims, or your green claims aren't valid, then you can be fined. So it's a big thing that's changed relatively recently to start stopping that greenwashing, which has been becoming a problem. So if you haven't heard of it, look into the Green Claims Code, because it's a really
that's important. A pretty cool new kind of legislation that's come in. I'm glad it's come in as well.
No, it's really important, and it should really start to help. Cut back on that greenwashing, because they are now starting. It was coming out a little while ago, but now as of January, they are actively pursuing companies that are greenwashing, and they are actively fining companies. So it's something to be really aware of. And the other thing as well is it's something that we were working on with. Did some work with a marketing consultant last year in regards to our own business, not last year, sorry, the year before. And we were talking about the fact that we wanted to bring our ethics and our morals and everything to the front. And on that first call, when we said it to him, he was a bit like, oh, I don't know if you should do that. And, you'll switch customers off, blah, 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 blah. And then actually, the more he got to know us and the more he talked to us and, got a feel for who we are, he was like, no, you absolutely should do it, because you mean it. You're not just jumping on a bandwagon. It is a core part of your business and your ethics and your morals and your mission. And so customers will see that and will then engage with that. But if that's not really core to your business, and if you don't really care, then don't do it, because customers will see through it. People aren't stupid. And they will see.
Yes,
exactly. People will see through it, and all it will do is undermine your business. So if you're going to do it because you care and you're really passionate about it, not because you think it's the next big thing.
I don't. It never really works when people just kind of jump on trends for the sake of it. What exactly does it mean to decarbonize the internet?
Okay, so basically, you sort of touched on it at the beginning of this, in that when you say to people the internet is a massive polluter, most people are shocked. I've been talking about this for over a year now, and every time I sort of say to people around, the internet is a massive polluter, people kind of look and go, what? Because it's such an ingrained part of our day-to-day life, not just in business, but in personal life. It feels quite innocent. It feels quite, it doesn't feel harmful. Yes, we understand that there is harmful content online, but we don't really think about it in regards to an ecological impact. And actually, when you look at the carbon emissions from the internet industry, it is equivalent to the aviation industry.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly. And we're really, really comfortable with the fact that we're not comfortable, but you talk about the aviation industry being polluting, and people go, yeah, no, I get it. But then you tell them that the internet is the same, and you just watch people's faces, just say, like, what? What do you mean?
It's because we can't see it, can we? Whereas with planes, you can see the pollution coming out of them, but you can't see the pollution coming out your phone.
Yeah, exactly. And the scary thing is that by 2025, the carbon emissions of the internet is expected to double. So it's getting worse. And so the whole idea of decarbonising the internet is there are things we can all do, both in our personal lives and in our business lives, to reduce the impact that our internet usage has on the environment. And there are lots of things, and I'll jump into them and give people some tips and advice on this, but it's basically, the idea is making sure that we are minimizing the impact that we all have through our internet usage. And that's kind of the idea behind decarbonising the internet.
Does that require you using less internet then? Because I don't like the idea of that.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there are things that people, there's a lot of people that say we need to like scrap Netflix and we need to scrap, Amazon Prime and HBO and all the rest of it, because that's really internet usage heavy, that's streaming vast amounts of data. So you could say, yes, stop watching all of that, stop binge watching Netflix and go out for a walk, or play a board game. You can say that stuff, but at the same time, not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone is ready to, cut back on all of that stuff. So it's looking at, okay, what can we do? What steps can we take that are easy for everyone to do that have an impact? I mean, I don't know if you want me to jump into those now, or if you want to sort of talk a bit more around it. Okay, so there are some things we can all do. So one of the big things is that a lot of people do is we hoard emails. There's so many people I speak to that they've just got inboxes from years and years and years, and they've just kept every single email, and they never clear their emails out. And again, it seems really innocent, but all of those emails have to be stored, and they're stored on data servers. And those data servers need an incredible amount of energy to run. And because they are running constantly, they get really hot. Like, you think of your computer, when your computer's been running for a while, it starts to get hot. Now think of that as like a massive server, and there's hundreds of servers, and they're all in a big room. That room gets flipping hot. So they have to use climate control systems to keep the temperature down. So not only have you got all of the energy of the data server, you've got all of the energy being used to keep everything cool. So the less we store, so the less emails we store, the less photos we store in the cloud, the less files we store in the cloud, all of this stuff we're just storing. If we can just basically have, like, spring's coming up, have a big spring clean of your data that you're storing everywhere in your emails.
I was going to say, is there a less time-consuming way to do that? Because let's be honest, as business owners, you don't really want to be going through your emails. You want to be out there growing your business, don't you? You want to be out there spending time with your family.
Yeah. So I have kind of a rule with my emails in that. So I do store emails. I do have folders for clients, and important ones I will drop into this folder, so I've got them. But so I'll drop them in there, and anything that's not important, just like a hello, how are you doing, or a thank you for such and such, are we okay for this meeting on such and such day, I delete them. I just get rid of them. And then I will periodically go back, and I'll go 2 years back, and I'll clear all the emails from 2 years ago. Because let's be honest, how often is it that you really need to go back that far into it? You don't. 2 years old, you're not generally going to need that information. And even if it was a situation where someone says, "Oh, we had that conversation ages ago, have you still got it?"
Yeah,
I will just say no, I don't have it anymore. But let's be realistic. 2 years
ago,
everything's changed. Rates will have changed, service will have changed, needs will have changed, all of that stuff. So you don't need all of that stuff. And like, if you're worried about contracts and things, well, your contracts shouldn't be on emails anyway. So it's not like you need them generally you don't need them for any legal purposes. So I have this thing of I clear stuff that's 2 years old, 2 years older or more. and just get rid of it. And then I'm really conscious of what I'm saving as I put stuff into these folders. Do I really need to keep hold of this? Is this important? So it's just an easy way, I think, to just clear all of that.
What are the top key things that a business should also do, other than clearing out their emails, to be ethical but also grow in the same way?
Yeah, okay. So there's things that you can look at, not so much in regards to growing your business, but in regards to, you know, limiting your impact on the environment through your internet usage. And obviously there's things around your data systems and the energy they run on. So it's not just your data systems and your energy you're using in your company, but also the energy that your website is using. So, and what I mean in regards to that is renewable energy. You know, if your company isn't using a renewable energy provider for its electric or its gas or whatever it is, a really, really easy thing is to just switch. And I know the energy sector at the moment is just a bit of a mess, but there are some amazing, fully 100% renewable energy companies out there. And I mean, we did it. We switched to a 100% renewable gas and electricity company years ago. And it's a really simple switch, and it really helps to make an impact. And then in regards to your website, it's about moving your site onto a green hosting supplier. That's a really simple thing you can do. As long as your website's not on something like Squarespace or Wix or Weebly or any of those kind of paid.
What about WordPress? I know that's the popular one.
Yeah, WordPress is fine. So the reason you can't with Wix, Squarespace, Weebly and those type are because you're tied to their platform. Whereas WordPress is an open source platform and you can host it with whoever. Shopify is another one that you can't, you know, move your hosting. So anything where your site is built with their platform, their like, you know, closed platform, you're stuck with their hosting. But if you've got something like WordPress or you've got a custom build, that can be hosted anywhere. And there are loads of green hosting providers out there. I mean, us included, we have a green hosting service. That's run, and they're run on 100% renewable energy. And then alongside that, we plant trees every month for every client we have on our hosting plan. And again, that's a really simple thing that you can do. That. Yeah, so it just doesn't. It's a really simple thing, but it has a real impact and has a real benefit for the environment and reduces your carbon footprint. So that's sort of a couple of easy things that you can do as a business that don't.
And they're so simple as well.
Yeah, exactly. Really, really simple. And then you can go deeper into it in regards to, so I talk quite a lot about sustainable web design, and there are some things that there are some really key things that need to be done on websites to limit their impact. One of them is obviously where it's hosted, but the other is the content you're putting onto that site. So not having autoplay videos, making sure that your images are optimized, not using lots of custom fonts. There's even things like the colors you use on your site. So it's really interesting. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. I thought I was cutting you off. So like a white website uses more energy than a black website. So it's the whole dark mode and light mode on your phone.
Yeah.
It's because it needs more light to create that white look or that really bright, vibrant look. So even the colors you use on your website have an impact in regards to its carbon footprint. So it's a really interesting subject, and the more you dig into it, the more you find out. So yeah.
Amazing. Guys, if you do want to know more about how you can grow your business and still be ethical about it, especially when it comes to your digital marketing, I highly recommend that you get in touch with Kayleigh, because there's literally nothing she doesn't know. Her and her partner are absolutely brilliant, and I've known them for a long time now. And as you guys know, we always have experts come on this show who really know their stuff in detail. But Kayleigh, where can people get in touch with you?
So the best place to go is our website. So it's kakaducreative.com, which is KAKADU creative.com. And actually on there, we've got an article. So in our article section, we've got an article around talking about the impact the internet has on the environment. I can't remember the specific, I should know the name of this. It's called Internet Usage, the Secret Polluter. So there's an article in there that tells you a bit more around that. And then we've also got an article on there, which is called What is Sustainable Website Design? And it talks more about the things that you can do on when you're building a site, when you're having a site developed, that you need to factor in to limit its footprint. I don't know if we've got time. I've also got a couple of other resources that people can go to. So if you're unsure whether your website is on a green hosting provider, and it's not easy to find out from your current hosting provider, there's a tool called websitecarbon.com. Just put your homepage URL in there, and it will analyze and it will tell you if it's run on green hosting, on renewable energy or not. If you're not sure, if you're wanting to find out whether your website is eco-friendly already, go to websiteemissions.com and put your URL in there, and it will tell you if it's eco-friendly or not. And another really good tool is GTmetrix. It's gtmetrix.com. Put your homepage URL in there, and if you see something saying avoid enormous network payloads, that's because you've got really big files and things on there, which mean that it's really large file size, and it means it's really it's really energy intensive to deliver that site to the end user. So there are a few tools as well. But just wanted to drop them in there for people.
Amazing, guys, go and check out those resources, and definitely connect with Kayleigh as well, because you'll learn so much from her. It's amazing. Kayleigh, thank you so much for joining us today, and I really appreciate your time and sharing this unique kind of subject with us, because it's not something that people often talk about, and yet they need to know about it.
Yeah, definitely. No, more than happy. I'm really happy. I hope it's been interesting for people. And like you said, if anyone's got any questions, more than happy to get in contact. Just drop us a message through the website.
Take care, guys. And if you have any questions for Kayleigh on the replay, drop them in the comment section below, and we'll still follow up with you.
Perfect.